10:24, 20 to 13. How are you, darling? Any news? Well, it is difficult for me to judge on my condition. As it is right now, there is news, yes. The big barrack cabin with the landlord Debbie had fallen through was denied to me. What? Oh, Odin. She tells me 3 times the amount of the rent must be your income, Odin. You make not even twice the amount. This place was denied to me. Oh, hell. I was running out of options. I have a hotel room that I'm trying to acquire, that I would stay there until a right place was found to me. However, if I did not get this hotel room even, then I was considering homelessness, that I would get rid of many of my possessions and live in my car, drive, roam, and wander around the country. Then I thought about doing this too. It's this itself. I broke down in immediate and severe tears about this. Especially so, for as soon as I had thought of you, Frigg, I would not have my computer anywhere. No, oh, Odin. Also, this must not be. My cell phone would die. I could be somewhere across the country, yes, if a flat tire were experienced, or the car were to break down during the winter season coming up. Also, mail. This is terrible. I have my automobile insurance and bills to pay and so forth. My mailbox. How would I return to this to receive my mail? Were I to be somewhere in Montana or Wyoming or Maine? No, I couldn't do this. Is there no other slightly cheaper place that you can take? Ultimately, I'm considering moving back to Osk's place. Yes. I am absolutely and severely horrified by moving back there. Yes, this is better than homelessness. Satan, I imagine I would arrive there the first day, no matter how bad, and he would peer out of his door, not say a greeting to me, then shut his door, and then the madness and the terror would ensue. Insofar as I would ever remain there at Osk's household. Well, you can stay there for just 2 weeks. Yes, well, you look for somewhere. Yes, you're right. Of course I can do so. Also, I'll be down in San Diego County, not now far away from the nearest mountain towns. Of course, I would need to drive a long distance. I realize this is not good, to check in person another mountain town place. Yes, but still better than sleeping in your car. Yes, this is bad. Yes, my car is almost impossible to sleep in it. I would obtain severe back pain over time, or neck pain. So yes, Osk's household is most probably it is going to be. Yes, it's dangerous and impossible. Yes, for now, this is the best option. Dangerous living out of the door. Yes, it is the best option, as you say. From there, you can find somewhere. It itself is a very bad option. Well, yes, it will be difficult, I know, having to drive long distances. I may relocate to somewhere within San Diego County to find somewhere. That is true. Well, for now, you're making the best choice. This life has been inconceivably cruel and harsh to me. The best of the worst choices. It has. Yes, I agree. But once you're with Osk, you can begin to look slowly for the right place, or at least a place that will get you out of there. I understand. All of the severity and cruelty and harshness is altogether a part of a rigorous, torturous, twisted training program for you, Odin. While I am with Osk, I thought to myself, perhaps I will drive around the country while I'm there, for money is never an issue to me. Yes, while I'm living with Osk. Good idea. I know it is a good idea. I sense this. Gets you out of the house. He desires me to see this country in person. And you could search for somewhere to live. I thought about Route 66, to drive east all along it, across the country, then north up to Maine, then west to Washington. I considered perhaps to drive to Alaska during this trip, too. Is your car in good enough condition to do this? What a trip this will be. I think now that my car is. help you collect your money. In a good condition, actually. Well, my money deposits automatically to my bank. Okay. It is not a concern to pick it up. To me to pick it up anywhere in person. Okay, and you would live in hotels? I concern about my cell phone. Charge your phone there during the night. Sleep where? I was considering merely pulling over on some roadside. Okay, each night sleep there while in my car. There are truck stops. Well, your back will suffer. Almost everywhere around the highways, such as Route 66. Well, what about a hotel occasionally for washing? Well, my back will suffer. It might not. A hotel occasionally, of course. Yes, showering is obtained through that means. Well, it sounds like quite an adventure. Yes, well, for now, it is only a thought. You could meet some very interesting people. I could do this or not. Understood. I really hope so. Well, for now, we have to think about your immediate plans. While I'm with Osk, I'll try to be out of the house during the day as much as I can do so. Yes, I will search for another place. By the first day that I get there. Good. When must you leave the place you are in now? Each and every day I must call at least one person for a property. November 1st, I think. Not long. However, Osk and I wish for the 2nd, a Saga's day. Osk will be able to help me soonest by the 2nd. Yes, indeed, on a Saga's day. Much better. Right. Let's hope your landlord will be flexible. I'll write to my landlord a note about this. Yes, let him know. Good. It is best to leave this place on the 2nd. Good. I'm pleased that you have made a decision that you will not be homeless. The situation is far from ideal. But things will improve. Things will improve. They will. October 24, 2013. 10/26/2013. Calling in to see how you are. Again, my condition is quite difficult for me to comprehend of it as of lately, whether affirmatively or negatively. I will not be staying at that hotel room at Lake Arrowhead, by no means. Okay. I was there at the establishment earlier today. I sense it is a terrible setting. Deep, dark, terrible voices out there, right in front of my door. Stationed themselves there. Hotels can be depressing, noisy too. Degenerates, drug users, dark malevolence. They're not for you unless they're expensive. Terrible loudness, wildness, uninhibitedness, severe profaneness, vulgarities. Horrible. Forever manifesting themselves in direct reactivity to my own volition. No, I would be imprisoned there at that type of place. You would. There are 2 places in Big Bear lined up. So hopefully you can go straight from your home there to Osk. 2 new places. Though I sense that these places as well too will be denied. Because of your income. There will be circumstances. They will manifest whatever type of circumstance. I can't conceive of these circumstances beforehand. I'm sure you always look smart and presentable when you turn up. But they find their way, and then I'm denied from such place. So it can be how you look. You must be... So it can't be how you look. It must be your financial situation. I'm fine in person, agreeable, professional, desirable to firm, of course. Exactly. There'll be some other applicant beforehand, of course. Or my income will be insufficient for the place. That's right. Or the place itself turns out to be run down, substandard. This happened to someone I knew here some time ago. Or it is crime-ridden, or it's too noisy with car traffic, or with other persons too close by it. Every time he went to view a flat apartment, there was someone else before him, or someone better paid. It was galling. I'm better paid by now. You are. I should be able to find my own place far more easily now. Faster. It is nonsense. I'm not an ordinary intellect. There must be a lot of people out there looking too. I cannot be happy in my house with my housemates. I'll never be happy in my house with housemates. I can pursue my goodness where alone to myself. This itself is not a bad situation to be in. You're right. Were I alone to myself, then I'm better freed to pursue my happiness. You need to be left alone. I agree with the American principle. You need quiet. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's right. Only insofar as it applies to me and to others like me. Quite. We are not allowed this now. It seems to me and to others like me that deserve the privilege of this principle. You do deserve it. Others, perhaps, no. It does not matter, but you do. We, we always wish for it now. It does not have to be too late for this. Agreed. I'm not a new convert to this either. I see it ultimately very strongly a part of me. I just do not mention it concretely or blatantly. I love it so much that I cloak myself from its presence, in order to not spoil its sanctity, its sanctimony. I lost my direction because of doing this. I forgot the meaningfulness, the purposefulness of my discretion of its presence. It was as though I was not affirming this principle anymore. I was becoming monstrous. However, monstrosity does not ultimately attribute to my own identity. I'm weak, soft, and fragile. I'm imaginative and playful of intellect, as mentioned beforehand. I'm nothing but goodness and benevolence. I lost the direction of my identity over time. For evil, for monsters. This is everywhere a part of this life experience. I'm sorry, I did not mean to become like this. This life experience was so difficult. It was such a great challenge to me. So very great. You've suffered a lot. Everywhere, at the same time, Teutonics and good persons were around me, as though the malevolence down below had deceived me to the point that the Teutonics, that I was hateful against them. The angel archetype derivations. It was ever so difficult to overcome the evil of this life experience. My consciousness, it was as though my opposition, my antithesis, had become as such this way over the course of time. Start me over. Terrible for you. I wish this to my God, to my Creator. I wish this. I sensed somehow, some way. I know he has heard my cries about this, but I sensed somehow it was heard. It was granted. Could it somehow occur to me to start my life experience over? He would have to physically terminate me. I would accept him to do this to me. That he would start me over in some different kind of life form. Would he go more lightly on me during this renewed next life? But I don't think it is possible ultimately to do this to me. I cannot be ultimately totally started over. Only my metaphysique can be cleaned by him, by his love, by his grace, by his mercy. His forever my Father. He is indeed my Father. He is overprotective of me. He can be abusive to me, to his son. The best or nothing, Adam. I have no words for you on this, Adam. I can only read your words and listen. I affirmed a perfectness. I can only be dealt with perfectly afterward. I am his son, my real and actual father. As such, he was a premonition to me when I would live with him earlier in my life's time at his household. My real and actual father was doubtlessly metaphysically abusive to me. He had showed attributes and qualities to me, severe and terrible coldness. And the causation to his abuse, it was indeed because of any slightest error or mistake from me. Now my real and actual physical father is experienced, proceeded onward from him, in my Creator, my transcendental Father, up above, my real and actual Father indeed. He is manifesting everything with me as it was that my real and actual physical father was to have manifested to me earlier in my time beforehand. He is still merciful to me. Do I freely act any of this? I felt as though that I were irrecoverably damned to the inferno below. But then afterward, he shows me merciless even still. It is not much merciless any further. You must do all this by now without help or assistance from others, Adam. You're of course strong and knowledgeable to win this life experience into my arms at the very last and final moment against the beloveds down below. Beloveds down below is real and actual and independent from Creator. Were it so real and actual and independent from Creator, that Satan is indeed real and actual. I sense as though I read recently, Satan is one of the earliest of all possible transcendental manifestations. He is exceedingly wise or well versed in knowledge himself. That is, now it is understood to me, Aristotle himself could have, or might have been formalized and manifest by the down below. That is, the down below is not dumb or low of intellect. Satan himself is, I understand, wiser than even that of Aristotle or Leibniz themselves. At the same time, I see blackness of form attributable to Satan. Indeed, were he to present in human form, he would probably be that of Negro type of human. I see a human substance such as Jamie Foxx, strongly attributed as a formal cause derivation of Satan himself. I don't know who Jamie Foxx is, but he sounds black. Yes, he's black indeed. He's intelligent as black. He appears cultured and so forth. He's prone to loud, wild, uninhibited behavior. It is only surface his cultivation. I would somehow be treated kindly by Satan. I sense this. He is ultimately perfectly self-affirmative, however. Hell itself is hot and thick and dense of air. Well, this is from your brilliant mind. I have no words on this. It is cramped likewise and full of bad odor. Heaven is full of fresh and cool air, with a scent of mint to its air. It must be. There's vastness and expansiveness a part of it. I like the sound of heaven, I must say, in contrast to the claustrophobic limitedness of the inferno down below. Oh, of course we do. We must both be in that heaven. Everybody conceivable ultimately likes it and loves it. But how to get there? I hope so that we are judged affirmably by Creator, by Christ, in the end. I hope so. We wait in our graves for the end times to finish or to complete. Ten 29 20 to 13. Synthesis. How are you? I'm quite alright. Excellent. I'm thinking to myself, I cannot be wrong on my perspective, not wrong on my understanding of this life. I behold the life experience as truthfulness, truthhood, my consciousness, my others that manifest a reflected relativity to me. These others, my consciousness, the external actual physical threshold. It has happened as though its own final cause state of their actualized antithesis to me, their own diametrical opposition to me, altogether. I am the self-substance. I hold the truthhood. You cannot refute this truthhood. I say to them, do not even try to do so. You cannot win against me ultimately. You cannot refute me ultimately. It is terrible the situation as it is to have become all of us. Center of the life experience, hated against me. Them, the others, synthesis. Somehow the synthesis has to be obtained between them and I. Truce, compromise somehow. The self-substance is brilliant and extraordinary. Well, it's deep for me, Odin. I do know that you suffer so much over things such as this. Do not hate this identity. See him, like him. How can you... How can you not like him? This identity that I am. You hold me to my principles, to my every word, as though practice it altogether. Adam, that what it is you are. They observe me over the course of time. They have their... They have their ways to do this. This is already demonstrated. They observe errors and mistakes. Not entirely absolute perfectness in me. They mark away at this against me. They behold their consciousness of me only through such aspects over the course of time. The brilliance and the wondrousness of me over the course of time is not even looked at or attended to by them any further. It is not right of them to do this against me. It is a great course, a great regression of me, a great regression of them, where they alter their evaluation of me. Such could not take occurrence really or actually so overnight. Far longer it would take to do this for the better of all of us. I have my errors and mistakes, yes. Not absolute perfectness is actualizable in me. My lifetime is the synthesis of them, and I realizable. During my lifetime in the end. Overnight it could not take to do this. I don't really know how to answer you, Odin. Only listen. Years, decades, This is a great conflict between all of us. You, Frigg, remain not attributable to my opposition. Thank you. Tribute to you. Thank you, my darling. Honor and reward to you. Others by now, there are so many new others. There's so many new others. That's very profound. So many of them, they do not immediately access their observation of me in my identifiable state or condition. My identity is concealed, it is trapped, it is enslaved. My soul could be far away from my body at this point in time, could be on a rack or a bed of flames, pounded against with my every activity or sentiment, benevolent activity or sentiment. My soul irretrievably flies up and away, their bondsmen beating it down continuously. The material caused life experience consists of representations and abstractions of the position and condition of my soul. Your writing is so amazing. I don't know about this. My soul, it is not down there in the inferno. Well, before my material body would have still been alive and walking. No, it is not a permanent or finalized condition. My consciousness, however, again, truce and compromise must somehow be made with them, for I see them otherwise, everywhere, everything about them. They are in opposition to my value system and so forth. Do not be like me, Adam, they say, in everything, everywhere. Adam is brilliant and magnanimous and so forth. He is great and wise, likable he is, lovable he is. They see this, they know this, when they experience me in person, firsthand. Everything about them, when my identity is actualized together with them, flips themselves over and onto the right side of the upward path, the upward course. Well, Adam, you give all this so much thoughts. They alter and shift the life experience in such a way so that such goodness of experience cannot be obtained together with them. At this point in time, all of you either know me or should know me rightly and correctly. And were such to be the case, then you and I are our own synthesis, our own truths made and compromised and allies, not antagonists against each other, nor oppositions against each other. Never opposites, never antagonists. The thesis, the self-substance, do not be resentful or jealous or hateful against this conception, against this abstraction, against this identity. No. He is a very kind and loving and merciful and most pleasurable abstraction. Ten, 29, 20-13. The criterion of the 8 categories. In relativity to the formal organon. Also in relativity to Leibniz's universal language. 1. Substance X, such as substance X is that of curtain, or substance X is that of such and such animal. 2. Quality, geometrical figuration, genera 1, geometrical shape, differentia. Point, attributable here or there to X. Line, attributable here or there to X. Angle, attributable here or there to X. Hard angle, soft angle. If hard angle, then angle is quantifiable of itself. If soft angle, then angle is unquantifiable of itself. Shape, triangle, square, rectangle, polygon, circle, oval, etc. Shape itself is universally hard of angle. Shape itself is universally soft of angle. Shape itself is particularly hard and particularly soft of angle. Shape itself is not hard and not soft of angle. Nothing at all whatsoever. Geometrical mass. Genera 2. Geometrical size, differentia. Magnitude, big, very big, exceedingly big, absolutely big. Average, a very average, exceedingly average, absolutely average. Small, very small, exceedingly small, absolutely small. Length, from back to front, front to back. Width, from left to right, right to left. Height, from bottom to top, top to bottom. Perimeter, from corner X to corner X. Diameter, limit of length, limit of width, limit of height, limit of parameter. Geometrical size in relativity to millimeter, centimeter, inch, foot, yard, mile, and so on and so forth. Qualitative clarity. Genera 3. Lightness. Differentia. Light, very light, exceedingly light, absolutely light. Bright, very bright, exceedingly bright, absolutely bright. Dim, very dim, exceedingly dim, absolutely dim. Dark, very dark, exceedingly dark, absolutely dark. Qualitative coloration. Genera 4. Whiteness. Absolutely white. Essentially white. Universally white. Unessentially white. Grayness. Absolutely gray. Essentially gray. Universally gray. Unessentially gray. Blackness. Absolutely black. Essentially black. Universally black. Unessentially black. Blueness. Absolutely blue, essentially blue, universally blue, unessentially blue. Redness, absolutely red, essentially red, universally red, unessentially red. Yellowness, absolutely yellow, essentially yellow, universally yellow, unessentially yellow. Greenness, absolutely green, essentially green, universally green, unessentially green. Orangeness, absolutely orange, essentially orange, universally orange, unessentially orange. Purpleness, absolutely purple, essentially purple, universally purple, unessentially purple. Brownness, absolutely brown, essentially brown, universally brown, unessentially brown. Combination of coloration attributable to the quantifiable divisions of substance X. Qualitative soundness. Genera 5. Loudness. Loud, very loud, exceedingly loud, absolutely loud. Moderate loudness. Grades 1, 2, 3, 4. Moderate quietness. Grades 1, 2, 3, 4. Quietness. Quiet, very quiet, exceedingly quiet, absolutely quiet. Qualitative soundness 2. Genera 6. Sharpness. Sharp, very sharp, exceedingly sharp, absolutely sharp. Hardness. Hard, very hard, exceedingly hard, absolutely hard. Dullness. Dull, very dull, exceedingly dull, absolutely dull. Heaviness. Heavy, very heavy, exceedingly heavy, absolutely heavy. Qualitative scentedness. Genera 7. Strongness of scentedness. Strong, very strong, exceedingly strong, absolutely strong. Weakness of scentedness. Weak, very weak, exceedingly weak, absolutely weak. Qualitative scentedness 2. Genera 8. Pleasantness of scentedness. Pleasant, very pleasant, exceedingly pleasant, absolutely pleasant. Unpleasantness of scentedness. Unpleasant, very unpleasant, exceedingly unpleasant, absolutely unpleasant. Qualitative tastefulness. Genera 9. Pleasantness of tastefulness. Pleasant, very pleasant, exceedingly pleasant, absolutely pleasant. Unpleasantness of tastefulness. Unpleasant, very unpleasant, exceedingly unpleasant, absolutely unpleasant. Qualitative tastefulness 2. Genera 10. Saltiness. Salty, very salty, exceedingly salty, absolutely salty. Sweetness, sweet, very sweet, exceedingly sweet, absolutely sweet. Spiciness, spicy, very spicy, exceedingly spicy, absolutely spicy. Sourness, sour, very sour, exceedingly sour, absolutely sour. Bitterness, bitter, very bitter, exceedingly bitter, absolutely bitter. Qualitative tactfulness, Janara 11. Hardness, hard, very hard, exceedingly hard, absolutely hard. Coarseness, coarse, very coarse, exceedingly coarse, absolutely coarse. Smoothness, smooth, very smooth, exceedingly smooth, absolutely smooth. Softness, soft, very soft, exceedingly soft, absolutely soft. Qualitative tactfulness 2, Janara 12. Hotness, hot, very hot, exceedingly hot, absolutely hot. Warmness, warm, very warm, exceedingly warm, absolutely warm. Coolness, cool, very cool, exceedingly cool, absolutely cool. Coldness, cold, very cold, exceedingly cold, absolutely cold. Dryness, dry, very dry, exceedingly dry, absolutely dry. Moistness, moist, very moist, exceedingly moist, absolutely moist. 3. Quantity. Arithmetical enumeration of substance X. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Nothing at all whatsoever. 4. Relativity. In relativity to self-substance, in relativity to this other substance, in relativity to these other substances, in relativity to every possible substance, in relativity to the external actual physical threshold, in relativity to the creator, in relativity to this certain specific substance but not this other one, in relativity to these certain specific substances but not these other ones, in relativity to these certain specific substances but not this other one, in relativity to this certain specific substance but not these other ones, in relativity to and so on and so forth. 5. Activity. Motion, speed, velocity. Fast, very fast, exceedingly fast, absolutely fast. Active, very active, exceedingly active, absolutely active. Moderate, very moderate, exceedingly moderate, absolutely moderate. Slow, very slow, exceedingly slow, absolutely slow. Stationary, passive, inactive, motionless. 6. Passivity. Sentimentality of substance X is attributable to consciousness, wakefulness, conscious, wakeful, very conscious, very wakeful, exceedingly conscious, exceedingly wakeful, absolutely conscious, absolutely wakeful. Irefulness, ireful, very ireful, exceedingly ireful, absolutely ireful. Cheerfulness, cheerful, very cheerful, exceedingly cheerful, absolutely cheerful. Tearfulness, tearful, very tearful, exceedingly tearful, absolutely tearful. Fearfulness, fearful, very fearful, exceedingly fearful, absolutely fearful. Self-consciousness, sleepfulness, self-conscious, sleepful, very self-conscious, very sleepful, exceedingly self-conscious, exceedingly sleepful, absolutely self-conscious, absolutely sleepful. Combination of sentimentality attributable to the quantifiable divisions of substance X. 7. Positivity. The metaphysical geometrical 26, ultimately 27-point cube. The point is 3 vertical columns from left to right, 3 vertical columns from back to front of left column, 3 vertical columns from back to front of middle column, 3 vertical columns from back to front of right column. Each and every vertical column is consistent of 3 vertical points from top to bottom, or also the cube is 3 horizontal levels, or plates or squares from top to bottom. Each and every horizontal level or plate or square is consistent of 9 points positioned equidistant from one another. 9 points of top square, 9 points of middle square, 9 points of bottom square. In both descriptions of the metaphysical geometrical 26, ultimately 27 points cube, the central point of the cube is unquantifiable and commensurately unattributable to the position or positivity of substance X. Position of substance X is attributable to top level, point 1, middle column, top level, center. Point 2, right column, top level, center. Point 3, left column, top level, center. Point 4, middle column, top level back. Point 5, right column, top level back. Point 6, left column, top level back. Point 7, middle column, top level front. Point 8, right column, top level front. Point 9, left column, top level front. Middle level. Point 10, middle column, middle level center. Point 10 is the unquantifiable and commensurately unattributable point. Point 11, right column, middle level center. Point 12, left column, middle level center. Point 13, middle column, middle level back. Point 14, right column, middle level back. Point 15, left column, middle level back. Point 16, middle column, middle level front. Point 17, right column, middle level front. Point 18, left column, middle level front. Bottom level. Point 19, middle column, bottom level center. Point 20, right column, bottom level center. Point 21, left column, bottom level center. Point 22, middle column, bottom level back. Point 23, right column, bottom level back. Point 24, left column, bottom level back. Point 25, middle column, bottom level front. Point 26, right column, bottom level front. Point 27, left column, bottom level front. Position of substance X that is attributable to more or less point 1 plus point 2 is of course permissible. Position of substance X that is attributable to more or less point 1 plus point 8 is permissible also. That is, any linear angle from such point to such point is permissible to affirm of it as the position or positivity of substance X, minus any identification with point 10, and so from point 10 to point such and such. This is impermissible to affirm the position or positivity of substance X. 8. Durability. Duration of substance X is attributable to long, very long, exceedingly long, absolutely long. Enduring, very enduring, exceedingly enduring, absolutely enduring. Moderate, very moderate, exceedingly moderate, absolutely moderate. Short, very short, exceedingly short, absolutely short. No duration at all whatsoever. Duration in relativity to millisecond, second, minute, hour, day, month, year, century, millennium, and so on and so forth. October 29, 2013. (10/30/2013). How are you this evening? I'm well tonight. Quite alright. Two music works are recorded and being published tonight. A strings piece and a pipe organ work. Sounds wonderful. There's no stopping you. No, you're right. I'm quite calm and peaceful and content with everything as of now. You're in full flow creatively. I feel this. Perhaps there's nothing much left to teach me. I hear this. Well, they say we never stop learning until the day we die. If such is the case, then there cannot be much left in store for me here. Yes, essentially true that is. I don't know, really. But all I know is that you have done so much already. I can only wonder what you will produce in the future. I know that the fundamental aspects or attributes of this life experience are permanently established within me, or part of me by now. There's much to write or to say about this, though I don't feel so much of a need to do so right now. It is understandable. It is. Thank you, Frederick. You're a marvel, really. Pleasure to hear this always. What a mind. What an intellect. Thank you so much. I'm always amazed at your knowledge and your perception of the world. You're still young, and yet you're full of understanding. It is a gift at the highest level. I came to the right understanding of this life experience. This understanding is not mentioned anywhere else, by nobody else, not mentioned but partly by any others other than those who know me personally. It is meant only for you. Yes, it is. Always it is, too. That makes you very special. Tireless eyes on me. Different. Chosen, perhaps. Though by now there are kind eyes, a kind God to me. I think so. Chosen, oh, of course. This life experience is a level, a stage, the first level, or the first stage, most probably, only for me, ultimately so. It's quite a peculiar sight. I sense this upload society is more revealed of the transcendental moral system on the site. Sometimes when I've looked around it seems a bit seedy, but then you meet a good person and you think it is worth staying. The up above and the down below on the site are more revealed than elsewhere. Ah, yes. Elsewhere, such as on YouTube. You see this, of course you know this. Understood, of guess. Angels and demons that are on that website. Absolutely. It's very clear that is to me, but I don't dislike it. Strange, fearsome that this is to me. It's better that such things are clear, but ultimately comforting. Yes. Ten, 31, and 20 to 13. To the north. I will be moving down south back to Osk's household on Saga's Day, but I wish for the move to take place on Lord's Day. I am losing my mind completely imagining what it is going to take to be like there at that place. I do not wish at all to be at that household. I do not wish at all to be at that town, neither a part of that climate. I'm sure you are. No, I know. Well, it won't be for long. I am going to be destroyed completely while I am there. Keep telling yourself that it won't be for long. I will move on Lord's Day. Then on Lord's Day, yes, start looking. I will look for offerings in Montana. Immediately, yes, good. I'm determined to move to either Montana or to Wyoming. Montana is the first choice. Gosh, these are names so familiar to me from 1,000 cowboy films. I'll call whatever person up in Montana is offering an affordable and acceptable, tolerable cabin or place. Montana is quite a wilderness state, yes. Yes, well, you're doing the right thing. Mountainous and forested and pristine, much of it is. Montana, yes. I'll call the person up. I've seen films of it. That'll drive the next day up to Montana. Glorious countryside. This will be my first time up there. I'll drive hundreds of miles to do this. I understand it. I bet you will love it. It will take around 20 hours to arrive there, and Osk will help you with the monthly payments. I'll drive all the way up in one trip. 20 hours! Yes, I think he will still help me with this. Financially, yes. 20 hours, yes. From San Diego to Lake Tahoe, California, it is 12 hours a drive. Idun and we had driven up there. I had driven up there with her in one trip, one straight drive without much of any break. I think that I can drive from San Diego County to Montana in one trip. Then I'll arrive at the cabin or the apartment and take a personal look at it. Oh my goodness. If I like it, I will fill out an application or do whatever I must do to obtain the place. What if you don't like it? Then I'll rest afterward on a roadside or a truck stop. You have driven all that way. Right, I will drive back, yes. If I don't like it, then without pursuing the place. Oh, Odin. If such is the case, I don't like the place, then I drive back home. Still, there may be more choices. And try it again later, yes. If you try these different areas, yes, Wyoming is another state, just south of Montana. Montana borders Canada. That is so familiar to me. Wyoming borders South Montana from my childhood. Yes, these are the northern mountain states of the United States. Wyoming, including Idaho too. Wyoming, Idaho too. Wyoming has less population, I believe, than that of Alaska. Yes, Wyoming, I think it is 600,000 persons populated there altogether. Wow, it's quite a big state too. Sounds wonderful. So, population per square mile is indeed very minimal. Beautiful countryside all around it. Yellowstone is there in Wyoming. This great, tremendous wilderness park full of, well, this park full of mountains and forests and waterfalls, bears and bison, I think. Yes, drive up north, I say. Amazing. It's definitely time to do something like this for me. Do you think it will be more expensive there? I must at last get out of California altogether. No, it will not do. No, it will not be so. California is by far the most expensive cost of living state in the United States. Okay, followed by New York, I think. Well then, it sounds incredible. Maybe just what you need to leave California behind. Though every rural state in between the country is far less though every rural state in between the country it is far less expensive the cost of living there. Yes, leave California behind at last, onto Montana or Wyoming. I may consider North Dakota too, just east of Montana, a plains state. Though it borders Canada. Though it borders Canada too, it snows heavily during the winter and so forth. Desolate it is too, unpopulated for the most part. Great distances these states are from California, though I will tune up my car beforehand, maintenance it at a shop and so forth. Oh, Odin, this is such a long way from Osk. And also purchase a new cell phone altogether, and anyone you know, so that my phone's battery will not die while on the drive up there. Oh, I know, it is fine with me. Can you not charge your phone inside the car with the cigarette lighter thing? I don't know what it's called. I've lived up here in the San Bernardino Mountains essentially all to myself for over 2 years by now. Right. But I've seen a friend charge his phone inside the car. It's possible to charge the phone that way. However, I need the right cord for it. I don't have that right now. Right. Okay. Well, either that or new cell phone altogether. For my current cell phone's battery is indeed old and dying. I think with a new cell phone, yes, good idea. It could last a few days without it being charged. Well, it is with me on the road up north. Well, while I'm there at Osk's household, to pass the time, I'll try to be out of the house during the day as much as I can. Good. To be at the college. Actually, I wish to practice the piano there, use some renewed recordings of compositions. Oh well, of course, what a great way to get out of the house. The music department there is a good step up from the university that was in. Yes, but I will be determined to move up north as soon as possible. Good. Perhaps I will compete with myself. This is positive. How fast can I do this? To move up north. Do this. Perhaps. And my motivation will remain excellent to move out from the mad house as soon as possible. True. Exciting this is actually. You have real motivation. It is exciting. I've never set foot more north than Lake Tahoe, as concerns of the western part of the country. Wow, what a journey and experience. Montana is 2 or 3 times farther north than Lake Tahoe. I mentioned already the state borders of Canada. I think just below British Columbia or Alberta. How noble such climate that is. Wonderful climate. So fearsome much of that climate is, too. Perpetual ice and mountain peaks. Inaccessible terrain. It is all very exciting. It is very exciting. For homes I would move out to from Osk, then I return to Osk for the very last time. And then far, far north at last. October 31, 2013. 11/1/2013. Then be off with this. I'm quite alright. I'm writing and preparing myself for my move and relocation, temporarily so, back to Osk's household. This move and relocation will take occurrence on this Lord's Day. Of course, you're busy now, I realize. So much to pick. I've thrown away everything bad and malevolent and down below predicated that had a part of me for many years at last. A great deal of nonsense that was a part of me has now been thrown away. This had included thousands of pages of writings. However, these thousands of pages of writings are documented on my computer already, though I had thrown such papers out, and soon afterward, my heart, it physically felt empty, very shallow and thin. It was understandable to experience this. I can understand that. Afterward, I had then made public my first 2 books online once again, and then soon afterward, my chest had acquired its depth and essence and so forth once again. Spirituality and so forth had returned back into me once again. So now you feel you can dispose of this writing? Well, these writings that were loose pages, unorganized. You have it all on your computer, of course. Also, plenty of prototypes of printed copies. Of my first 2 books thrown out. And yes, okay, it is all taken care of, all of it. I say to myself, so you're downsizing. So it is unnecessary matter, essentially, that was thrown out. Downsizing, yes, this is necessary to do so. It is almost altogether taken care of by now. This downsizing for the upcoming move. Terrible satanic music thrown out. Terrible dark leather costume and jewelry and so forth thrown out. All of it by now. So you have all your CDs packed. Whatever else. No, nothing is packed right now. I'll do this on Saga's Day or a Lord's Day before Ask arrives here to help me with this move. Embla should be coming along with him for this drive. It is her birthday on this Lord's Day. I will get to see her then. That's good that she is coming with him. All of us 3 will speak about everything together with each other then. Don't forget the post office. How far is it from Ask's? The post office, yes, that's tomorrow. Good. A change of address from here will be given to the place. The Garden of Eden post office box will be closed by most probably tomorrow. Ask's household, understood, will be my next address. That will be temporary, however. I say this to myself time and time again. Yes, of course, I'll not situate there at that place prolongedly, only temporary. Nothing will or should slow me down from there. I am going to move to Montana or to Wyoming. Ask has offered me his, his help even with this. Where I relocate up north, he will even help me with this move. Drive up there with me. Items with us in his van and my car. I'm concerned, however, about this. I don't wish to remain too prolongedly at Ask's place beforehand. I recollect I was here at this Garden of Eden wilderness place for 4 months. Since the first day that I was here, I was looking everywhere to find and obtain another place. Denied ultimately this intention was mine. The situation cannot occur to me while there. So you're really going to try for Montana and Wyoming while there at Ask's household? Well, I think it will be an adventure. Yes, of course, I am really going to try for Montana or Wyoming. An adventure it will be, yes. A great freshness, vast and expansive sights. Well, the first thing to do is pack and get to Ask's. Then you can sit for a moment, regroup, and then be off. Knew everything there, to those wonderful places. Yes, you'll find something there. I know it, Odin. My trip up north should occur very soon. This is not far away. This drive up north. We'll call it to the right Montana place, or to the right Wyoming place. Wonderful. Understand the address, and to be off with it. Driving up there, so far away, so new. Leave altogether behind at last. Well, darling, good luck with everything. I'm glad you'll be seeing Ask soon. Of course, I'm glad too. It is always good to see him at last. It is. Somebody that I know, able to speak to him. Indeed, I hope it goes well established, and with certainty that he is present there always to turn to, reliance on his contacts, and his affection and warmth and so forth. At last, for the time being at least, capable always to turn to this abstraction. Yes, I should stay there at Ask's place only for reasonably 2 or so weeks. November 1, 2013. 11 to 20 to 13. I must be helped with this. How are you? On readiness? I'm quite alright. I'm ready for Lord's Day. Ah, the post office box address is closed. Well, you are on course for your move. I am. So, are you tired tonight, darling, or slightly buzzing because of your imminent move? I'm not certain of this. I'm not happy with myself. This is certain, however. Looking back on myself, well, no, I know you're not. I see morbidity and emptiness to me, abandonment and failure. It has me very depressed because of all of this. You've been through such a lot recently. I lose motivation in trying anything. A lot of uncertainty. This affects communication or conversation even. Yes, understood. As though trying anything were in vain to me, unnecessary to do so. I can see how you would feel this. My identity had been made, obtained. Yes, it is not necessary to formalize this identity of mine any further, or at least not right now. Well, I think once you set out on your journey, things will change for you. On my journey, yes, things should change then. I think so. For the better they should. At last. Certainly. For now, you have to get to Osk's house and shut everything out. Then prepare for the journey. I'd be gone and left Montana within the first day that I would arrive there at Osk's place. This is not going to be the case, of course not. I would find online an offering. There would be a sufficient amount of pictures to the place. I would not need to drive up there beforehand to inspect it. The phone number would be given along together with the place's information, or if not then, an email address to which such person would respond to it. Time would not be wasted because of this. The place would be affordable and acceptable, tolerable. I would not lose motivation over the course of time, neither. Good. Because of the insufficiency of or poverty of online offerings. This is the right way to think. Such is of course not going to be the case, however. I will end up imprisoned at Osk's place for months and months. My imagination, my mind, my identity. Such essence is the best of all. My imagination, my mind, my identity. Such essence is the best of all possible worlds. The real life experience is not functional or operative to this essence. That is a terrible abstraction to experience of it. No. Well, if you start to plan things the moment you get there, maybe you won't have to endure too much of this, if you're lucky. Insufficiency of online offering information will be the case. I know. There will be no photographs or no email addresses, but I keep hoping. No responses from them, no phone calls back from them. Few offerings themselves will be apparent to me. Very few affordable offerings. Then even fewer affordable and acceptable tolerable offerings. And then such offerings, these will be taken beforehand by prior applicants. Time will proceed onward at Osk's place. It is a mad house there. It forever is a madhouse there. I remembered them. There will still be ongoing with them. The same themed, everlasting conflict or confrontation between them. Nothing there will have changed, altered. Since 2 years of time's passage, Osk, in this regard, I just have to judge him to be a fool or an idiot on this situation there. Evict that old monster! It never ends. I know how awful it is going to be for you. Well, I don't know, but I can only guess. That is nonsense. That Satan is not evicted even by now. Yes, 4 years past his rightful eviction date. Terrible. The first day of his 18th year, he has already forced his eviction. Unspeakable coarseness and viciousness against us, against everybody. Exceedingly bizarre and maddening antics against Osk as the good man who keeps nonsense beyond conception, psychosis, terrible perpetually trembling in the household atmosphere, perfectly timed effects of severe bondage realist sentiment against my own volition, imprisonment over time into still causation, perfectly absolute life negativity, if in order to not cause that Satan into inconceivable thumping, pounding, thudding, bumping, cursing, raging activity. I'm only imagining what this is going to be like very soon. Oh, and you make it sound like a madhouse, some kind of living hell. It is indeed a madhouse there, a living hell, entirely so. My poor Odin, my poor God, my poor Yoren, my poor Adam, my poor Jehovah, my poor law. You don't deserve this. This is awful for someone who needs peace. No, I do not deserve this. And calm. I'm sensitive even here at this big bear place. Humanity needs to wander and create. The household here itself is sane and normal. Oh dear! It is thousands of times unspeakably worse there at Usk's household. You would be suppressed. Your creativity would be suppressed. I sense I'm trying to be slowed down at my relocation to Montana even. Do you? Ask himself. He's trying to slow me down with timeful suggestions. He does not get this. He does not understand this. He himself does not know that he is living in a psychotic, psychopathic, mad house situation. Again, he is clueless on this aspect. As though does he like living with that, with that criminal there? But he must suffer with Satan. He must hear him. He seems to enjoy suffering himself and be paid by it. Oh. Not only does he hear it, he shouts at it. He loses his mind at it, vainly and perpetually without any effect or success against it. It is exceedingly scary shouting, absolutely cold-blooded hatred. Oh my, you will have to deal with this. I say it again above. It is a continuous, everlasting theme. There is no resolve to them. They are puppets, wound up, continuously playing the same behavior, unwinding, continuously acting out the specific behavior. There is no escape from it. Poor Odin, poor God, to have to do with this. There's no idea in them of anything else, of anything better. You must get away, small of mind and zombie-like they are, as quickly as you can. It is a true nightmare there. Try your hardest to leave. Get a good plan. Stick to it. Something must happen. I must be helped with this. I gotta have my back against my wishes here. You can't stay there. That shouting, that raging against each other. Violence, physical violence. Baseballs being thrown violently against Usk. Almost everyone being pounded into the walls. Pounding. That's Satan. Slapping the walls. Pounding the shoes together. That cursing is so profane. It's so offensive. He does not even care about this. I'm right against his wall. He blows up routinely with rage, cursing exceedingly disgusting profanities. Cares less altogether about me and doing that from it. Complete psychosis. It sounds as though Satan needs medical care. It is endless medical care. Help to control his terrible affliction. He will not accept it. He can't even be helped by the doctors. He behaves in such a way too. Oh dear. So there's no hope for him. He does not necessitate medical treatment and intervention. Never was that the case with him. With it. What is the matter with them? What is the situation? Why does this situation have to exist? It is unnecessary to exist. There's no good reasoning for it. I can only reason that he keeps him there still after these years is that he's a coward. He's afraid of property damage. The place would be burned down by that shit. Or Usk would be murdered by that devil. Do not fear him, Usk. That shit loses in the end. God, this is a total nightmare. My only option to turn to. What a terrible, unspeakable situation. And also forever insufficient of coin for the inevitable premonitions of Usk's household remained. You will be returning to that madness. God, forsaken when it cares less to even give emotional affection to you. She is hopelessly lost against the Creator. She has her side of the family turned against Usk. Usk is hated by everybody in my Quebec family because of her. Except for me alone. Usk is the created archetype, formalized into human substance. Sigurd says, I am Christian, God, I am saved. Your Christianity is a sham. Your value system offends the Creator. Plain and simple. Psychology of this life experience. Altogether understandable, that is. Creator himself, perhaps attributable always to his life experience. Once is also terrible. Somehow transcendental or not, hardly know what to think. Jungian's perspective or not. No hope for Sigurd either. Her purports to be a Christian. Why, of course, if it is a sham, they're not the pious ones. I'll never understand any of it. There's more law and more order. One system alone attributes this life experience. It is not Christian morality or Christian value system. Such as heresy. Instead of diametrical opposition altogether, it's legitimate. Also think moral law and moral order. Creators, moral law and moral order. You see this everywhere. Here, fishing cause, Western civilization, Christians everywhere, quantities of them everywhere. Quantity does not justify them. Their fallaciousness, their groundlessness, their falsehood, they're weak. This life experience is the ultimate test. Adam, overcome the sham of the religion of your civilization. You're made into my arms, and in the end, everlasting. There's only Creator, the Son of God. No, everything is attributed to Creator. Yes, is not God, nor Lord, for He is not Creator. Sham. Well, God, I'm most terribly sorry about all this. I'm so sorry to find you like this tonight. Deficiency and deception. Fight for God until the end. I hate to think of you surrounded by all my health and happiness. It is too much. I'm okay. I will be okay. No soul should have to bear this. No, of course not. Especially not you. In a terrible, unspeakable situation. Because you're special. However, it is the most real of all possible worlds. It should be treated as such. Christendom of the 15th century could not really or actually exist. Neither Parallel Roma nor Paraclete Greca. The shadow persona archetypes and so forth. They could not manifest reasonably or sensibly so during such eras or epochs. November